From the Command Center, Episode 12, featuring Super Sentai special guest, Spada the Bald Matrix.
Time Force, Power Rangers, racing to another time, chronomorphers are alive, timeless wonders, fire and thunder, all to save the world. Go, Time Force! Time for Power Rangers, Time Force, time for Power Rangers, Time Force, time for Power Rangers, Time Force, Time Force, Time Force.
Welcome to a collaboration between the Geekcaster Radio Network and the Pop Culture Network. This is From the Command Center, the podcast, episode 12. I am your host, TFG and Mike, and joining me is Scotty Cash from the Pop Culture Network. Hello, sir.
How are you?
Pretty good. And for the first time, it only took us 12 episodes, but for the first time, the Super Sentai, what the hell are you, contributor, thank you, Spada the Bald Matrix is here. Hello.
Hello.
The reason why Spada is here is because he told me in a previous conversation that Time Force and the Sentai for it are pretty much virtually the same damn thing.
Yeah, we will actually be getting into this a little bit later in the show, but the similarities are striking.
Yes. Yes, very much so.
Which is kind of disappointing because I look forward to Spada's part every month just to see what's a little bit different.
So you're not looking forward to having him on the show? Nice welcome.
Okay, really?
Well, there are some differences, and I will be talking about them a little bit later.
Yes. Okay, so we've got a bunch of feedback that we have to get through, so I'm going to go through the iTunes stuff really quickly, since that's the stuff that really takes up less time. I actually had a friend of mine who lives in Canada check the Canadian side and see if we had any reviews there. We've got 2 5-star reviews. The first one is from someone who I cannot pronounce their name. Good podcast, 5-star review. It was left on December of last year. Continue your good work and bring us more interviews. It would be cool if you could make some extra episodes of 30 minutes only for, I don't know what the hell that person's saying. There will be more interviews. We, as I mentioned last episode, this month we are interviewing Dan Southworth, Eric, the Quantum Ranger from Time Force. The Johnny Young Bosch interview has had to be rescheduled. He has yet to get back to me on a date of when he is going to be available again. As far as more episodes of the podcast, Scotty and I kind of talked about this off air. We were thinking of doing commentaries on different episodes. My thought on it at this point now is let's finish all of the seasons up to Samurai, and then we can go back to like MMPR and like pick 2 or 3 episodes from each season. And then, you know, almost like starting the podcast over, but instead of doing an overall recap or an overall discussion on each season, we could pick like 2 or 3 episodes, then we can just commentate on them. And that way it'll make the podcast go longer, but I would rather do it after we finish the series reviews.
Yeah, that's fine.
Instead of in between series. Because we've already done all the other seasons to this point, it make no sense to start it in the middle. And then the other Canadian was by someone named Y2J222. Awesome 5-star review left on January 7th. You guys have a really good podcast. Can't wait for your new ones each month. Keep it up. On the American side of iTunes, we have someone who updated their review. One of the best podcasts, if not the best, part 2. 5-star review. Hey, I'm back. This is the second review and edit my last comment as well. Lightspeed Rescue was the last season I fully watched due to moving to a new state and being in middle school and wanting to fit in, peer pressure, and getting more into wrestling. Overall, I found the season very entertaining to watch and enjoyed the fact that Saban finally made their own Ranger. You guys did a great job in summarizing it up and helped me relive my last childhood moments. Coincidentally, I had a friend over while listening to the review, and his last season was also Lightspeed. After listening, felt inspired. He now wants to start a Rangers podcast. Thank you for doing what you do and being the inspiration for future Ranger podcasters. Very awesome.
You know, it's really funny. A lot of people that I know who liked Power Rangers said that Lightspeed was their last one.
Yeah, no, not for me. I think for a while Time Force was my last one because, yeah, we'll get to that later. And his edit to the comment he wanted to make was in episode 11 we read, I don't know why, but for some odd reason I said Linkara reviewed the Super Sentai on the show. I meant to say Spada. You'd think I would remember since being 11 episodes already. I hope the guy who calls you guys everything didn't catch on and complains about you guys and not correcting me. Well, I would think Spada would be, honored to be, called Linkara. Because that guy puts a lot of work into his Ranger reviews.
Yeah, I'd like to see him actually, release the next one.
Yeah, well, let's not get into that because heaven forbid we ask, and it's like, why do you people fucking ask? No, I'm not going to review.
No, it's nothing against Linkara. I understand how long that can take.
Oh, yeah. Oh, trust me. We understand, too.
To be honest, I was going to do something similar. He just beat me to it and was able to do a better job than I would be able to because I have a much more demanding, I think, work professional life than he might have.
What season is he on?
He is just about to go into. He just did, his last one was Dino Thunder, and I think he's just trying to figure out how to make Mystic Force not
suck.
Exactly.
I remember he watched. I don't know. Yeah, he released Dino Thunder a while ago, but it's been a long while, and I understand the guy has other reviews and other projects he wants to do and everything else, and that's all well and good. But I mean, it takes us barely a month to watch. It takes me barely a month to watch all the episodes.
You guys aren't doing video editing.
I know we're not. I give all the credit in the world to Linkara. He does an amazing job, and he puts a lot of hard work and time and effort into it. So, all right, we have two feedbacks. This was from posts on Geekcast Radio and over at Pop Culture Network's forums. They are both from Chaotix12345. Part 1 says, entertaining show as always, guys. Love hearing your thoughts on Lost Galaxy. Glad that you share my opinion in thinking that it is awesome. Scotty, to address your complaints about Ziggy, RPM Green, being an even worse Billy, when you rewatch RPM, give him some time. He actually has some very funny scenes, a great relationship with Dylan, RPM Black, and some really great focus episodes that really add to his character by showing that while he was kind of forced into the Green Ranger role by way of DNA lock, he is still worthy of being on the team. Plus, at least he is less skilled, more slapsticky. Fighting is supposed to be funny. Oh, good lord.
Well, I would like to comment about that really quickly. Hanato, who was the Green Ranger in Go Onger, which is what RPM is based off of,
right,
was a slapstick character. The idea of Hanato is he is like ADD to the extreme. And he's very spastic, I guess you could say. But by the end of the series, he had mellowed out and all that happy jazz. Yeah. Plus, as Chaotix says in his post, he at the very beginning when Ziggy becomes the Green Ranger, and you get the explosions happening behind them, he goes, wait, what is going on?
Oh God, yeah, we are not up to RPM yet. Sadly, we have to get through a whole bunch of other stuff first. He goes on to say, fun fact, the reason that the Galaxy Rangers have that really weird running stance is because the Gingamon team also ran like that.
Yes, they did, and I have yet to be able to figure out why.
Exactly. Of course they did, but why? Yeah, that's the point.
The only thing that I have been able to discern is that the reason they ran like that was because of the Star Beasts. Because they were sharing power with the Star Beasts, and I mean, this is the same show that had the Rangers having their own horses dressed up as Star Beasts. So I'm just leaving that one alone.
Yeah. He goes on to say, I wouldn't say the Magna Defender had a weak introduction. Honestly, I thought it was pretty subtle compared to a lot of overblown intros and really added to his aura and mystery. Also, fun fact, the original Magna Defender was voiced by Goldar. Wrap your head around that.
And the original, Bull Black, who in the Sentai version, we got off lucky. I'm just going to say that because every time he showed up before the powers were transferred, it was, oh, my son was killed. Here is the clip of my son being killed.
Yeah.
In every episode.
Yeah, I don't know. Final part of this part one of his feedback is, actually, Scotty, there is one more Sentai season that Saban still needs to adapt before getting to Gokaiger, that being Goseiger, though they may skip it and get to it afterwards since Gokaiger is an explicitly anniversary-themed season. And this year, oh no, it is next year. Next year just happens to be the PR's 20th. I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, this season's 19, and he's already said that he wants to do Gokaiger for season 20.
Yeah.
Gokaiger, I think, will be a much easier fit and a much better fit for us in the West than Goseiger. The Goseiger are called the Gozi Angels. And through a lot of the series, like, part of their morphing sequence is they grow wings that then fold over to become the suits. That ain't gonna fly here.
Yeah, no. He then was posting about episode 11, the Lightspeed rescue episode. Another great episode, guys. Glad that you share my enjoyment of lasers that are also axes. I also love the Titanium Ranger and his story. My two Super Legends Titanium Ranger figures, one open and one unopened, I could tell you. Also, Axe Laser is pure win. Scotty, if you're wondering why Diabolical couldn't have just placed Cobra tattoos on all of the Rangers, I think him being able to get close to Ryan in the 10 or so years he has been with the demons had something to do with it. Think about it, it'd probably be a heck of a lot easier to place a curse on someone you could actually get close to instead of 5 other people you only meet on a battlefield while they are protected by power suits. Just a thought. I actually liked Cyborg Rangers. It showed the higher-ups at Lightspeed coming up with alternate solutions to their demon problem, thinking about building an entire platoon of robots instead of just relying on 5 people rather than just doing nothing. I'm sorry, I don't agree with that whatsoever. The Cyborg Rangers in Lightspeed Rescue, because it was an upper management dick move to me, it just didn't fly with me.
Yeah, also, the Cyborg Rangers were not in the Go-Go 5.
Yeah. Sure, their solution was a bust.
And I think I keeps cutting Scotty off. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
No, he just said yeah. Let's see. The last part of his thing here is, to answer your question about Leo's voice and Amy Miller's non-involvement in Trakina's Revenge, as Linkara said, the LG cast was promised a movie, but instead got this 2-part team-up. The only movie aspect of it was that both parts were released on VHS as an hour-long feature with included 3D glasses. Lame. Amy Miller showed up for the shooting, but after she found out that the true nature of it, she walked off the set and never came back, prompting Saban to replace her. As for Danny Slavin, Leo's actor, he filmed all of his scenes but didn't show up for ADR work, which is kind of weird. So they overdubbed him with a different voice to make all of his spoken dialogue consistent. I hope that sufficiently informed you.
So wait, so the Leo that we thought wasn't Leo actually wasn't Leo then?
The Leo in the suit, when Leo is in the suit,
that wasn't his voice.
It wasn't his voice because he didn't show up for the ADR. Because Leo, and most of the Rangers, and Spada can talk about this, most of the Rangers are not in the suits. They just put the helmets on and talk through the helmets through the ADR process, and that's all that they do.
Right. None of them are ever in the seats. Seats, not seats. Suits. Yes.
Yes. One last question. Vipro wasn't overdubbed Sentai footage. She was just a horrible actress.
This is true.
We know.
Horrible is just the start of that.
Yes. Oh, God, that secretary in Trakina's Revenge. I think Linkara said it best when he dubbed her the dumbest person in Power Rangers ever. That's true. That's all the thoughts I can muster for this episode. Looking forward to your Johnny Young Bosch interview. Keep up the buttery work. Watch SPD and you'll get that reference. Oh, Lord. He wanted to add something also. Actually, this is directly for Spada. Spada actually got something wrong in his summary of Go-Go 5. He said that the Yellow Ranger was only the Lightspeed Ranger character of a different career than her Sentai counterpart. This is incorrect, as Chad Blue works to perform a water show rather than being a serious firefighter like Go Blue. Also, Joel differs slightly from Go Green in that he is a hotshot performance plane pilot instead of a helicopter pilot. Just thought I'd let you know.
Yes, I did get that wrong.
Yes.
Wow.
Y'all can't be perfect.
But if I remember in some of the research that I did, they do talk about Lightspeed Blue before he worked at SeaWorld. He did aquatic rescue. And Lightspeed Green, before he was a stunt pilot, he did actually work in avionic rescue.
Interesting.
I saw that a couple of different places.
Yes.
So it might just have been I used to do blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. I mean,
and never mentioned again.
Yeah. Well, everybody makes mistakes. I mean, people are still complaining about us making a mistake between MMPR Season 2 and Season 3 with Rito and all that crap. But anyway, he also goes on to say, how about that announcement from Shout Factory, which, holy fucking crap, Shout Factory's announcement. Oh my God. They have Power Ranger DVD licenses. Finally.
Didn't we already talk about this?
No.
Well, why did me and you talk about it? Oh, we went to do.
We
the
talked
interview.
about it off air.
That's right.
We talked about it while waiting on Johnny that one night. And,
That's right.
Yeah. No, but the Shout Factory announcement that they are going to be releasing over 700 episodes from 1993 to 2009 in season sets on DVD for Power Rangers. That is awesome.
I want to know what kind of extras these are going to have.
I'll see if I can get some answers, because I plan on interviewing Brian Ward, the producer, at some point. So,
even if they don't have any extras whatsoever, it's just about time that they're finally on DVD after all this time.
Well, they have been on DVD, but in chunks.
See that,
Well,
and
it's
that's
still
the
not full
problem.
season,
I
so.
mean,
it's like, here are the first 4 episodes of a 50-episode series.
Yeah, but
And
that's it though. And that's not what I want. I want the entire season on DVD. I don't want episodes 2, 12, 14, and 18.
You know what? You know what would be the cream? What would just be the icing on the cake here? Is it
A box set?
Well, not just a box set. If they could do a release of, okay, here's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series or season 1. Oh, and here's the entire dubbed True Ranger subtitled True Ranger as well. Here you go.
That would be amazing. I would pay extra for that, no doubt about it.
I would pay a good chunk of money for that, because I have seen all of the series, but most of it has been in HK subtitles. And they're a little rough.
What's HK?
Hong Kong
subtitles.
So wait. So you don't have any American version subtitles?
I have the American versions from what would be. Oh geez, now you're making me think here. Don't do that.
Spada's too old to be thinking.
I have the Dragon Caesar series on American dubbed.
I have American subbed. I have all of Die Ranger, all of Go-Go 5, Ranger.
I'm just talking about the first one, Zoo Ranger.
Jew Ranger.
I have the only ones I have of the Jew Ranger I got from a toy show, and it's like the Dragon Caesar, like 4 or 5 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Where
I have the entirety of that subtitled.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It would be great. I think Shout Factory, and this is just me speculating, I don't know, and again, hopefully I can get some answers from Brian Ward when I do interview him again. I think the way I took the announcement is that they're going after the American stuff. I don't know if they're going to put in the additional.
Oh, that's just on my wish list.
Oh yeah,
right,
that's definitely not happening. You got a better chance of going back in time and winning that lotto. It just ain't happening.
Which the Maryland one has not come forward yet.
Well, didn't a guy died? Some guy died or something. I seen it on Yahoo. Like some guy was going to get his. You know what? It doesn't even matter. Let's talk about Power Rangers.
All right,
Yes.
so we will be back after this.
1,000 years in the future, peace and justice reign. And thanks to the brave legion of the Time Force Police, the streets have been cleared of every criminal. Every criminal except one, that is. Ransink.
So yes, it is time for Time Force. Is the
I am
2000
going to smack you.
What? What? Come on.
It would have been so bad if you didn't pause like you were a comedian, wait for like an applause or something after a joke. It's time for Time Force.
Is the 2001 incarnation of the Power Rangers series based on the Super Sentai series Time Ranger, running for 40 half-hour episodes from February to November 2001. It was the 9th season of Power Rangers. This was the last full season to completely air on Fox Kids following the sale of Fox Family Worldwide, which included Fox Family, Fox Kids, and Saban Entertainment, being purchased by the Walt Disney Company. Oh no, the mouse. Oh, yeah, that's right. Anyway. All right, so did you guys even watch this stuff back in 2001? I know I did.
No.
Well, I was a junior in college, and believe it or not, this was before DVDs were really huge, and I had VCR tapes of every episode. I recorded every episode because I liked it that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I thought like Time Force back then, and even before I started watching the season for this podcast, I still was not really looking forward to it, because when I think Time Force, I'm thinking like, oh great, they're going to be in and out of time. It's going to be like Stargate or whatever, it's going to be like. I just didn't want. I just kept thinking like Turtles in Time and just crap, and I was like, this is just going to suck. And was I wrong?
Yes, you are very wrong. Getting into the characters, now I do have to bring a couple points up, and I'm actually going to link this into the website post for geekcastradio.com. Recently, our friends over at No Pink Spandex interviewed Erin Cahill, who plays Jen. And Jen told them that they had to wait like a month before they could shoot anything, because the kid that played Lucas was not 18 yet. And because of child labor laws, they couldn't be running on a 12-hour day.
That Blue Ranger was 17 years old?
Yeah.
Are you
Oh
kidding
my
me?
God.
That kid looks like he's like 25 or 26.
That's what she said in
Was
the
he born
interview.
in a leap year or something, and that's how they're counting it?
Let's see. When was that? 2001, right?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Oh, he was 19 when it started. What? Wait a minute.
Well, he would have been 18 when they filmed it.
Right, because they were filming in like 1999, 2000. Yeah. Okay.
That's weird.
So yeah.
They must have started like right when he was getting ready to turn 18, and they just
Right. Yes,
like,
it did.
So, and then
Yeah.
it aired when he was 20.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yep. But they had to wait until he turned 18 because of child labor laws.
He was younger than I was at the time.
He was born in 82. Yep.
Sissy.
Oh wow, he's the same age as Pixel Dan. Holy shit.
Pixel Dane's a sissy too. What do you think about that?
All right, so the characters, we have Wesley West Collins, Lucas Kendall, Tripp, Katie Walker, Jennifer Jen Scotts, Eric Myers, Alex Drake, and then okay, so just out of those characters, now when I sent you guys an email and I made some horrible reference, I actually went back and I watched Linkara's review. I was right, Scotty. Alex is Wes's descendant.
No.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Where do they say that at? That doesn't make any sense.
Initially thought, let's see, where is it?
And I don't know who this is. The Linkara, the guy with glasses or whatever you keep talking about?
Linkara is the guy that does the History of Power Rangers videos I keep linking you to that you probably never watch.
I'm not going to watch them. So you can just save your
it's
pasting,
good. He does
copy
good
and paste.
work.
That's fine.
He
He might do great work. You could give me a link to Saban talking to the guy, and I'm not going to watch it.
To answer your questions, yes, Alex is a descendant of
Wes.
Wes.
So when do
That
they
is
say
true.
that? When do they say that?
They mention it. It's in the episode where where Alex heals Wes's dad. Because he mentions at one point in a flashback that in order to heal his father, or Wes's father, he needed a DNA sample to repair whatever damage was done, and Alex had that sample, which is why the chronomorpher was able to work.
Right.
So I'm assuming that Alex is probably like a great.
Well,
Well,
it's
if it's 1,000 years, it's got to be at least 10 or 11 different generations. Because
Yeah.
unless they live to be 100 years old and then have a kid, it's got to be like the 13th or 14th or maybe it's probably like 16th generation. So if you're going to tell me that your great grandfather,
It's probably around the 30th generation, because you figure there are 3, maybe 4 generations per every 100 years.
Yeah. All right. So, Scotty, who was your favorite out of the main Rangers? Not counting Eric.
Wes was my favorite by far. I hated Eric's guts until the end of the show. I think Eric did a fantastic job. I mean, the storyline to this, I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but the storyline to Time Force they did an amazing job.
I think Jen is, I mean, I back in the day as a kid, I had a crush on Kimberly, but Jen is probably the first Pink Ranger I had a full-blown crush on. And she is technically the first ever female Pink Power Ranger leader. There will be something later in SPD that also has a female leader, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But I really liked her. I actually liked them all for different reasons.
I agree.
But Jen and Wes are my favorites. What about you, Spada?
Just to correct something, you're forgetting that the leader of the aquatic Power Rangers.
I don't count that. That's from a different planet. On
Earth. Okay, yes.
I don't count the alien Rangers because they're aliens and they can't talk correctly.
Well, in
they can't talk correctly.
in Kaku Ranger, the leader was the White Ranger, and it was a she. So anyway. But back to Time Force, I have to say that my favorite characters were Jen and Wes. I loved Jen and Wes.
Yeah.
But the Owl.
Circuit, yeah.
Yeah, Circuit was cool.
I think Circuit had more character than any side helper before it, other than maybe Alpha 5.
Yeah,
But
about to say besides Alpha maybe.
Yeah, but Circuit, I mean, you found out a lot about Circuit throughout the course of the series.
Oh yeah.
And he was, I think, very, very interesting.
Yes, he
For
was
a
very much
owl
so.
that just kind of stood there and talked with the voice of a 6-year-old.
But that's okay though.
They did Time Force did a great job on character build too, because like you said, Jen was the leader at the beginning. But at the end, slowly but surely, Wes was the leader.
I'd say that they shared the leadership because she was the leader coming from the future, because supposedly at the time, in the beginning of the series, Alex was dead. And yes, I will agree that they would follow Wes,
Yeah,
after a
there
while,
was.
they would follow Wes anywhere. But it was more of this season was more of a full-on team effort than anything else,
Well,
I
that's
think.
because what you remember because the transition took so long. But at the end, when they were like, "Look, we can't do this all West. West is our leader.
Right,
Pretty
yeah,
much like, why are you taking our leader away from us? Alex." And
yeah.
that's kind of when you're like, this transition throughout the entire season. It was done really, really well, and it was. I loved it.
I think
Yeah.
another interesting character was actually Mr. Collins.
He was.
Was
I
Wes's
kept
dad.
thinking the whole time, both in 2001 and now when I rewatched it, I kept thinking that was friggin' Sam Neill, even though I know it's not. But like when I first saw, I'm like, what is Sam Neill doing in a Power Rangers show?
He's just walking around having a good time.
That's right.
It was interesting to see him throughout the series, just having this weird. Like at first, he thought he did. It was really weird because he obviously loved his son and he wanted the best for him, but at the same point, he was almost ashamed of him at one point.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was money hungry, and again, they just did a good job with all the characters as a whole. I gotta be honest, there's not a character that I didn't think that they did a good job. I mean, I don't know, Lucas was kind of on the back burners to me anyway.
He was.
It just seems kind of like Lucas didn't get a lot of love. Trip was probably next. Trip didn't really get a lot of love, but they still kept going back to those characters every once in a while, so they never were forgotten. Like, which one was it? Lightspeed's Blue Ranger, which was just like, I couldn't
Chad.
couldn't even tell you his name now.
Chad. Yeah.
Was he even in that show?
Yes, he was.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
And let's not forget about Frax.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get to the villains here in a second. The villains, it's you got Rancic as the leader, portrayed by Vernon Wells, who back in 2001 when I first saw him, I'm like, wait a second, Orson Welles has a sibling? It's spelled differently though. So anyway, his daughter Nadira, Frax, who was voiced by Eddie Frierson, Gluto, Cyclobots, and of course the Black Knight. Rancic is probably one of the coolest villains that to this point we've had at all.
See, at first I hated Rancid. I thought it was a complete giant Looney Tunes cartoon character. I thought it was overdone. He pulled a sword out of his knee. I was like, I wasn't even sure where they were going with it. I was just like,
I loved that though. That was so awesome.
it definitely grew on me. I definitely liked it more towards the end. They had the fake Mortal Kombat half mask on his face. I can't think of his name. Kano, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it looked like they ripped off 10 different characters and did like a Build-A-Figure.
Yeah.
And that's just that's kind of how it felt. And like I said, he grew on me and I liked him. And again, with the character build, he had a character build too, kind of like Wes's dad. He only cared about his kid. You know what I mean? Like, there was different episodes that Rancic showed different emotions, and I don't know. They just, they did a good job.
Now in Time Ranger, he didn't exist. And if you want to hear something that's going to blow your mind, you know who the boss was?
Who?
Mr. Collins?
Gluto.
Oh my God, really?
Who's
Yes.
Gluto?
Remember that?
He's the frog whale.
Yeah, the frog whale thing.
Oh, like at the beginning.
Yeah.
Ish, yes.
He is actually the villain. He is actually the main villain. His name in the Super Sentai was Don Dorano. Dorunero. And he was broken out of prison by Frax, or Frax was there by the name of Gyn. After that escape, now tell me if this sounds familiar. Lila, who is Liara in the U.S., disguises herself as a captain of the Time Force and tricks 4 cadets to flying the time ship back to 2000.
Oh God, that's
Does that sound?
Yes, it does.
Similar?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So, the Gluto character, this Don Drano, I'm going to just call him Don Drano, was actually the villain for most of the series until Gyne, or Frax as we know him in the U.S., took over.
So what about Nadira? Was Nadira in it then?
Yes,
No.
she was a
Thought she
character
was?
named Lila.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
And they are all part of a gang called the Londars family.
Sounds like something from Plundar.
Yeah, it does.
Londar.
And actually, the cryo prison
Yeah.
that Rancic, for some reason, that's his base of operations, even though I don't really know how the cryo prison got back to the year 2000.
Yeah, me neither. That's what I was kind of like. Where did he just put all these in a hip sack and carry him here, or what? Like, where'd they all come from?
That very question is the exact same thing that's in Time Ranger.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Because the ship goes back, but nobody's really sure how the cryo prison got back there. Now, I have read that as a throwaway line in both series, that cryo prison was actually thrown back in time due to some kind of mishap and just happened to be there.
Well, they probably should have mentioned that somewhere sometime then.
Yeah.
And then here was another thing I was always wondering. What if they could bring the Megazords back and forth, why couldn't they just stick, and even Alex and even the Rangers at the end went back and forth. I could never understand why because they were like, we need reinforcements. And they're like, we can't do that. But here's the Megazord, and then here's Alex later on.
That was actually explained.
It was.
I must have completely missed it then.
It's because if you're not in a shielded vehicle, a specially shielded vehicle, biological matter will be destroyed as it travels.
So is the Megazord considered a shielded vehicle?
No.
No, the thing is, the technology from the year 3000 cannot exist in 2001 because 2001 did not have the advancements to maintain that technology being there.
I must have fell asleep through that episode.
You must have.
And what about?
Yeah,
I was also. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Scotty.
Well, I was also wondering the Chronomorpher that they were Power Rangers before they had because when they got to Earth, she had those Chronomorphers like in that like briefcase.
Right.
Okay, did they not have the Chronomorphers were in the year 3001?
They had them.
Okay, well then so was every cop or Time Force Ranger, were they all like suited up Power Rangers?
I don't think so. I don't know.
No, they weren't.
So was it like kind of like the Silver Guardians, and there was only like a couple like chosen ones then, or something? Because why do these five get the Chronomorphers that get to morph into like suits that are bulletproof, fireproof, when all these other Time Force Rangers or cops, if you will, in the year 3001, they don't get they don't get that stuff. You know what I mean? Are these like Navy SEALs then, or something?
Pretty crappy Navy SEALs, aren't they?
All right, so getting back to the villains, we have Nadira, who she really isn't a villain at all. I mean, she wants money and she wants to go shopping. That's essentially
nothing
her
worse than that.
Well, that's
A
in the
whiny
beginning.
chick that
That's
wants
her
everything?
entire character.
That?
Well, in the beginning, that's her entire character. As the series progresses, she sees the error of her father's ways, and she wants him to change. And of course, he doesn't until he realizes he nearly killed her.
Right.
And then we have Frax. Spada, you want to talk about Frax?
Well, Frax is really interesting in the differences between the Sentai and the U.S. In the U.S., Frax started out as a scientist, just a scientist in the year 3000-ish, who opened his home to Rancic, and Rancic betrayed him and tried to kill him, and pretty much did. The only way Frax could survive would be to to become a cyborg. Okay, that makes sense. It's a little darker in the Sentai.
How much darker?
Okay, the Don Drano had a friend who was a human.
Yeah.
Friend was a friend of his for many, many years, from like the kids from when he was a child up until when he was a young teenager. And then he was killed. In order to save his life, he had his brain transferred into the body that we know as Frax, or Gyne in that series.
Right.
Problem was, due to the operation, the complication was, he started going insane
Oh, lovely.
and became an extreme masochist and a mass murderer.
So, wait a second. You're telling me the Sentai version managed to work Charles Manson into Power Rangers?
Yes.
And Jack the Ripper.
Wow. That's crazy.
They always say that Sentai is a little bit darker than the American version.
That's true.
Oh, yes, it is.
Gluto, to me, is essentially... He's just there.
He's a puppet. He is a giant.
He doesn't really do anything in the American version. He's essentially an overgrown squatting babu, but he's not as funny because he's essentially just a background character. He hardly is ever used.
Yeah, and it's really weird. I think it's just so odd because Gluto was just this thing in the background. It was really much I akin it to one of those like inflatable like punching bags.
Yeah.
And then when I found out several years ago that he was the main villain of the Time Ranger, I was like, wait, what? Did he even like do anything in the US version?
Yeah.
And then there's the are they
Cyclobots.
Yeah, the Cyclobots or Zeniths in the Super Sentai.
They're so much better than what we had in Lightspeed.
Better than the Tengu.
Well, no, I take that back because the Batlings in Lightspeed were okay. It's the ones from Lost Galaxy that I hated, the insects. Oh God, what the hell were they called? Oh God, it was 2 episodes ago. I should know this. The Stingwingers. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
the
love
little bad
Stingwingers?
guys.
The Stingwingers. Even though the Batlings from Lightspeed were essentially just, ninja putties, they were better than the Stingwingers. The Cyclobots look like Machine Empire rejects.
Yeah, they do. And let me I'm just trying to find a good let me just tell you the Stingwingers were I think actually an improvement over what you saw in the Super Sentai.
Yeah, I
didn't like how they danced. Or like
the Cyclobots dance. I thought it was kind of funny. I mean, and again, it's a way to show a distraction.
Oh yeah, the Cartmans.
Oh God,
Those look like Cartman. I don't know. Not this picture so much here, but this picture.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh God, that's
an awesome website though, Spada. I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, there are if everybody's wondering what the heck is going on, I'm shooting some links to the guys as we're talking here.
SuperSentai.com.
Yeah, there's SuperSentai.com, and then there's Power Rangers Central, or I'm sorry, RangerCentral.com. Both of those are great resources, plenty of pictures, and you can see everything that we're talking about. And I get some good information from these sites when I'm doing the Sentai research.
Yeah, I go to Ranger Central every once in a while, and they actually did an April Fool's joke, which I don't know anyone that fell for, but it was funny at the time. Because there were some people that I seen on Facebook that was like, oh, did you hear this or that? They're like, Go Kaiger has been officially announced for season 20. And they're like, and Blake Foster's coming back, and Tommy's doing this, and everybody's doing this, and it's like, and everybody's like, oh my God, I'm so excited. And I'm like, oh my God, you're an idiot for believing that. Everybody's getting married and everybody's pregnant on April 1st. Don't you think about it? Just stop and think out loud for a second.
The only other real villain, which he isn't even really a villain, he's only in 1 episode. He made Trip drop the pizza. The Black Knight. They just had to work in some sort of Arthurian story in here, didn't they?
Which is perfectly fine with me because I like anything that's medieval-ish.
Yeah.
Except,
I mean, I do too. I just found it weird that they worked it into a Power Rangers series.
And I'll say that during that episode when Wes gets the black box, I can't remember what do you call it?
Oh God, his battleizer.
His battleizer.
Red Battle Fire. Yeah.
It was a little extreme. It was a little ridiculous, but it was not as bad as any of the other ones, like the in space one that was like a walking RoboCop machine thingy.
Yeah.
And I was just like, really? Okay. But I liked how he had the big ass fire blade. That was kind of sweet.
Mm. Yes. Speaking of the weapons, let's move on to the arsenal and talk about the chronomorphers. These are just bland to me. I love the DNA effects of when they morph, but the morphers themselves, they don't do anything whatsoever. Whereas last episode I complained about the Lightspeed morphers, them pushing the button and activating it took too long. This one, they just pushed the button and it happened. The only thing I do like about the chronomorphers is that the communications part of it is visual, and I thought that was kind of cool.
See, I love the chronomorpher in an entirety. I mean, it's not going to be as cool for like a little kid because it's not going to do too much. But if you look at it like if it was realistic, it's like a finger scanner. You know what I mean? Like you're putting your fingers on there, and it's linking your DNA to your morpher to put you into to becoming a ranger. And it's like it will only work with your DNA. So it's like, I don't know, it doesn't matter if somebody has it. And I like the wrist. I like the wrist style, and I'm sad that they go to cell phones. But but I like the wrist style.
Well, that's just Japan. I mean, Japan's cell phones were omnipresent before we in the West even thought of, what's a cell phone?
The quantum morpher was cool. I thought that was really cool because it gives you an insight to what Dino Thunder is.
Yeah.
I thought.
I mean, it's not. I mean, it has nothing to do with.
Right.
Because in Dino Thunder, they walk around with the bracelet with the gem on it, and it turns into a morpher when they're ready to morpher. They're ready to morph. But yeah, the quantum morpher was sweet. I liked it. I dug it a lot.
Yes. The time, I don't understand why they have the time, like, I can understand in the year 3000 why they have the Time Force badges, but they don't do anything other than kind of look cool.
And flash.
It's like a flashy gimmick. It's like, wow, really?
Another thing to sell to kids.
Yeah, exactly what it was. And at the very end, she's like, I want you to have this. And he's like, oh, good, a paperweight. Yeah, that's sweet. I don't even know what this does.
The Chrono Sabers, each Ranger carries 2 Chrono Sabers, which can also double as a lance. I like when they have each individual weapons.
I agree.
And they kind of did, but like Wes's was like a sword type of thing. But at the same time, I don't want something. We're so far into the series now, and it's 2001. I don't want them to have, here's my power bow, and here's the, I don't want them to have the MMPR weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
The Electro Booster was really cool. I thought that was a great weapon. The Chrono Blasters. Is that the big giant cannons they all have?
Yes.
Yes, when they put all the weapons together to form the giant cannon.
Individually, they're called V cannons, I think.
Oh, yeah.
V weapons. They're called
the V weapons. Yeah.
And I just love when they show them using them, they're not even running. They're just walking and shooting things. It's like just saunter, bam, 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 bam.
Yep. And then you had the Battle Warrior armor, which is what Wes got after defeating the dragon and the Black Knight. The first, and I actually put this on Scotty's wall. I don't know if he even saw it or paid attention to it. When Wes first put the battle armor on, I screen capped it to where he's got his hand, his sword in his hand, and he's got his
I've seen it.
Hand up in the air, and I'm like, by the power of the Ranger's Grayskull or something, because the first thing it reminded me of was with the lightning and everything else was fucking He-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
And as if anybody doesn't know already, the battle armors and the battleizers are never in the Sentai versions.
Yeah, no, that's solely so the American versions can sell toys.
That's a Bond, dude. He loves money.
Yep.
Now that's Bandai.
Yeah. The Mega Battle Armor, which was the Quantum Ranger's own armor. I really...
Yeah, the rollerblades!
Yeah,
But I thought it was cool, though. I mean, it was better than, the giant hoofs that Leo had.
Oh.
You know.
I got big boots and I cannot lie. No.
I've never liked motorcycles in Power Rangers, so the Vector cycles didn't really do anything for me.
Because they're in every single season. They're like, oh, look, a new cycle.
Yeah.
And they're horribly, just completely and totally unrealistic. I mean, you would never want to have a motorcycle like some of these.
Yeah, not at all.
And again, the motorcycles, not in the Sentai version.
What?
Yeah.
I need to start watching more Sentai then, because they obviously know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, a lot of times the motorcycles, what we have here in the West, aren't in the Sentai.
Good, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's good, because it's I hate those episodes. I just like I look unforward to those episodes because I know it's coming. Oh, here it is. The stupid motorcycle episode.
Same thing with the Stratocycle.
Yep.
Now, the TF Eagle, which was the Quantum Ranger's personal transport vehicle, I liked that. That was kind of cool.
The which one now?
The TF Eagle, Quantum Ranger's personal transport.
Oh yeah. Because he saved Wes when he fell from that cliff that time or whatever.
Yep.
Yep.
And then the final vehicle we have for the actual regular vehicles is the Time Jet, a glider-like aircraft that carries the Rangers to their Time Flyers. I like this in concept. I like this when they have to use it to get to the battle. But saying that it's used to get them to the Time Flyers is kind of stupid, because normally when they call or circuit for the Time Flyers come out of a portal out of a baseball stadium.
Right. Plus, they use the Time Jet like 3 times.
Yeah, they don't use it that much at all.
And then the one cool thing about the Time Jet is it becomes the gun that the Megazord Mode Blue uses.
Yes, it does.
Which, unfortunately, the toy doesn't come with it.
Oh. Speaking of the Zords, we have the Transwarp Megazord and Time Force. All of the Zords except the Quantosaurus Rex are stored in the year 3000 at Time Force's base. They are sent through time by the Transwarp Megazord when needed. The Transwarp swings its extendable right arm like a club to hit the Zord in the ass in order to attain the necessary velocity for time travel.
Well, just to correct you, the planes don't have asses.
Oh my God.
I know planes don't have asses, but I made the joke because it looks like it's smacking it in the ass.
It is practically spanking it. And that whole... There in Japan, the unit is called the Providus, is the giant yellow robot that practically butt slaps the planes into the future. And that's an entire playset that you could purchase, or you could purchase apparently.
Wow,
and,
how much was that dang thing?
Oh, it was probably $100 back in the day.
That's not too bad, to be honest.
Well, considering just about every release from Super Sentai, the Zords are about $100.
Yeah. I was kind of sad that the Transwarp Megazord was only used the one time, and it was because that guy, was it the movie episode maybe or something, where it's like he can do whatever he wants, and he's like, now have the Transwarp Megazord, fight.
Oh, you mean the big yellow?
The big yellow guy. That's the Transwarp Megazord, right?
Yeah.
That's Providus. Yeah.
Yeah, but Providus, he only fought one time, and it wasn't even on the Rangers' side. It was like in that movie episode or something like that.
Yeah.
And that was sad, because I thought, for sure, maybe towards the end or something, that they're going to call on that to use it. Nope, never once.
So the Time Flyers, the 5 Time Flyers, which are essentially all planes or shuttles, They form the Time Force Megazord. It has 3 modes: Jet Mode, Megazord Mode Blue, and Megazord Mode Red. I like that they switch between Mode Red and Mode Blue during battles.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm wondering, and this is just me nitpicking on it. I love it, but I have to bring this up. How much time is a monster going to give them, honestly, in a battle to switch battle modes? I mean, it's hey, can we get a timeout over here?
You have to look at it like this. It probably occurs so fast in the battle time, which they actually showed. They flew together, and then there was a flash, and you had a Megazord.
Yeah.
It's kind of reminiscent of I hate to bring this up, but Sailor Moon. Like, you think about, oh, I'm going to call out the name of my attack, and here it is, attack! And my friends and I used to joke, the greatest thing you could do in Sailor Moon is sidestep. But it's probably very quick.
Yeah.
The reference I was going to use was a transformer. How when they want to transform, they transform real slow, music's playing, Optimus Prime in the movie, you got the touch, it takes...
Oh, wait a second. Oh, hold up. Stop fucking there.
Hold on. Just to defend him, I do see where he's going, because if you think about when the combiners combine, like, for example, Form Devastator, that's how it happens, but then you look at the way, like, combiners go in Transformers Energon. You and I both know that when they combine, it's just bloop, bloop, but they have to go through
but you can't compare transforming modes from blue to red or red to blue, vice versa, whatever, to Optimus Prime's final battle.
Okay, well, I'm saying...
where he ran over thrust... Someone shot at him, his trailer exploded, he transformed mid-air, and started shooting motherfuckers.
Okay, well then well, first of all, you're on a cussing spree tonight. And then I was just giving that for example that, okay, fine, when Bumblebee transforms, at any time he transforms, it takes a while. Or when he's in mid-battle and he's running and he goes, transform, and he transforms in quarter of a second, like in a movie. I think Spada's right. You know what I mean? It's like during battle, it's a lot faster. They're just showing us, hey, look, this is what happens in real people time. Hey, watch. We slowed it down for you so you could pay attention.
Yeah.
And we hope you go out to the store and buy the toy now.
Right,
exactly.
Right.
And we also have the Shadow Winger / Time Shadow Megazord. I absolutely loved when they introduced this.
Yeah.
This was so freaking cool.
Otherwise known as the Time Ninja.
Again, I knew nothing about Time Force. I mean, absolutely 100% nothing about it. The only thing I ever knew was from Forever Red, and the only thing I could remember was whoever that other guy was had on some kind of stupid red hat, and that was Eric's hat. So when this other guy sent this the new Mega Winger, the whatever it is,
Shadow Force,
I was so excited because I was like, "This is awesome! Who is that guy? What's going on here?"
Yeah. Time Force is not short on story. Yes, there is many different things that you can nitpick at, and there are, time travel in and of itself in this series is kind of strange, but so is time travel in Back to the Future. So, and I absolutely love the Shadow Force Megazord, where the Time Shadow and the Time Force Megazord combined. I love that. That was so cool.
I agree.
Yep, agree. The toy, not so much.
You'll have to do a review for us.
I did a review. I just haven't posted it yet.
Oh, well, get on that. Moving on to the final one, the Quantosaurus Rex, the Q-Rex for short. This was pretty damn awesome.
I agree.
Spada doesn't seem like he's going to agree. He sighed
in the
like...
show, it's very, very cool.
The toy sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's actually what this month's From the Command Center is on, is the Q-Rex.
Oh, sweet.
Yep. I'm gonna try to start doing whatever we're talking about. I'll try to get the Zord from there, but without ruining From the Command Center, Spada is absolutely correct. If I was a kid then, and it's $79.99 when it hit shelves, I would have been irate. It is a giant action feature. That's it.
Imagine if Titanus was able to stand up on two legs.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty much it. Its feet, I for the life of me, I don't remember if its feet actually move.
Yeah, they do.
But do they just kind of go up and down, don't they?
Right. Yes, because it has wheels underneath him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are you talking Titanus or are you talking Q-Rex?
Q-Rex.
Yes, Q-Rex's legs move too. Yes. I guess I could have just said they both move.
Does it walk, or do they just go up and down with wheels?
No,
under
they walk and it turns also.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's awesome for about 10 seconds, and then you're like, well, I can't really play with it because it doesn't do anything else except for what this controller does. Yeah. But enough about the toy.
So, Spada, what was your favorite Zord out of all the Zords?
Time Force Megazord by far. By far. Hands down.
Scotty?
Q-Rex.
Mine is the Time Force. It's the Shadow Force. I love the Q-Rex. The Q-Rex is awesome, but just seeing a combiner like what we used to get with Dragon Zord and Megazord, I thought that was really cool with the Shadow Force Megazord. And since we don't have to cut to him, let's just ask Spada.
Hi!
What is the main difference as far as overall plot between the Sentai and this? Are there any big differences or no?
Well, it's funny you should ask that, but to boil it down, no. No. I mean, okay. All right. I think we need to get, let me get into a little bit more detail here.
Okay.
Some similarities include Time Blue being a race car driver, Time Yellow having superhuman strength, Time Green being an alien technician, no psychic powers, however, and Time Pink starts off as the leader of the team. They also both end up doing odd jobs in order to make money, and they both live in a separate building that was being rented out by the Red Ranger. Now, I have to admit, in the U.S., it was a much awesomer clock tower. Very cool. In Time Force, it was a clock tower. Time Ranger, god damn it, why are they named the same? Time Ranger, it was just an office building.
Oh, wow.
Other similarities include Guine, or Frax, being the final villain of the series, Go Blue being a womanizer, Time Fire being a part of the city defense force, Lyra being a master of disguise, the
Time Fire is the Quantum Ranger, right?
I'm sorry? Yes,
Time Fire is the Quantum Ranger?
Yes.
Okay.
The Launders Penitentiary, which is the cryo prison, being the base of operations.
For a second there, I thought you said the laundry penitentiary. I was like, wait a second. Why are they holding laundry hostage?
Not
make my t-shirt grow.
Launder, L-O-N-D-E-R-S, but close enough. Yes. There was tension between the Red Ranger and his father, and about the same thing that West went through. Funny thing is, though, they did show the Red Ranger's mother. She was actually a character.
Oh, wow.
Was she used often?
I'm sorry?
Was she used very much?
She was there.
Like flashbacks and stuff?
No. She was actually in the show. She had speaking roles.
Okay.
She wasn't absent.
She was just there to ground him when he was getting out of hand.
Yep. And finally, the ending arc of the series where the Captain Ryuya, or Alex, comes from the future to bring the Time Rangers back, but also to save the Red Ranger's father.
Ah.
Needless to say, there was a lot brought over for the U.S. adaptation. There were, however, some major differences. The monsters were criminals from the future and that were members of the Lundars family. Time Yellow was a guy. As I said, Red Ranger's mother was in the show. Time Green didn't have psychic powers. Time Green also built a robot called Time Roboter, who never showed up in the USA series, but he was just kind of like this guy that hung out at home base.
I need one of those.
Yep. And finally, Rancic was not in the show, and there were no mutants. They were all alien criminals from the future that had been frozen before.
Yeah, I still maintain I prefer the U.S. series.
Overall, I actually do prefer the U.S. series in a lot of aspects.
Is this the only series you would say that on, Spada?
Other than RPM, no.
So you're saying that RPM and Time Force are the only American versions that compare or are better than the Japanese version?
That are, hold on. Well, you see, if I think about it, there are aspects of all the series, both U.S. and Japan, that I like better here and there. Time Force, I really can't say it's better than Time Ranger because they're so similar.
Right.
They are disturbingly similar. I mean, down to the character arcs, the way they behave. Mm-hmm. They're just, to me, they're interchangeable. RPM versus Go Onger, RPM is vastly superior.
Ah.
But we can't ruin that for everybody right now.
Yeah, we can't ruin that.
We're not going to ruin that. The only other one I would have to say that's better is Lost Galaxy, because Gingaman was such a steaming pile of Megazord poop.
Megazord poop. Well, they don't have butts, though, you said, so they can't poop.
Oh, no, in their vehicle modes, they don't have butts.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Lord. All right,
now,
so go ahead, Spada.
One thing I did want to mention is that the series Time Ranger was hugely successful, especially among older fans, because it was dark. I mean, it was really pretty dark. And the reason for that was because of the head writer, Yasuko Kobayashi. You might not know her name, but fans of anime and other Japanese show might recognize her, as she has been the head writer or one of the head writers on Sailor Moon, Claymore, Kasharan Sins, Gear Fighter Dendo, Witchblade, Samurai Sentai Shinkenger, Kamen Rider Agito, Ryuki, Den-O, and O's. And she is also one of the head writers of Go Buster, which is currently airing.
Huh.
So she has got one heck of a pedigree. And she has been responsible for a lot of good stuff out there.
Awesome. So let's get into picking some of our favorite episodes. For me, obviously the 2-part intro, I love that. Honestly, really, there are maybe 5 episodes out of the 40 that I don't like.
Which I couldn't tell you one episode that I was displeased with.
It's Reflections of Evil. That was just dumb.
Which one was in that? What was in that?
That was the one with the mirrors.
Oh, I didn't mind that.
I thought, well, okay, but like when I hear the title like Reflections of Evil, I don't think of, hey, it's a Power Rangers version of Mirror Master from DC. I think of, oh, they're going to build more on Rancic's backstory, or, maybe tell the story of how he became evil as he is. I didn't think it was just going to be a story about, the Power Rangers trapped in a mirror.
Well, you were wrong, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, what about the movie? I love the movie episodes.
I hated Movie Madness.
I loved them. As cheesy as they were, I loved them.
That's exactly why I hated them, because they're so friggin' cheesy.
What do you think, Spada?
I don't remember the movie episodes.
Movie Madness was the monster that took over Jen's favorite act. Like, transformed himself into Jen's favorite Jackie Chan ripoff actor type thing. And it's basically a movie set where they put each ranger in their favorite movie.
Oh, that one was a little bit silly, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I mean, they probably didn't have to make it a two-parter, but but the only thing, the thing that.
Oh, the one episode that I absolutely hated was when Viper came back.
Oh, Time for Lightspeed. I thought Time for Lightspeed was okay, but it wasn't the best team up.
Viper is just such a bad act. The woman who plays Viper is so bad that she ruins anything she was in.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Scotty? Before
I was saying that the thing that I disliked the most about the season was the Cyclobots are pretty much just like, you can just pretty much push them over, whenever you want. They're just troopers, except for when they turn into something else, and then they're badass and they give the Rangers trouble. Like when Jen was in her movie role and she was trying to fight the Jackie Chan guy, or no, sorry, Wes. Wes was fighting the Jackie Chan guy on the roof, and he was kicking the crap out of Wes. And then he was like, "Oh, look, I'm a Cyclobot," and Wes was like, "Oh, here you go, kick, you're done." You know what I mean? It's like, wait. So if they turn into something else other than themselves, they're unstoppable? Okay.
And the Cyclobots, it's something we didn't bring up in the characterization, but the Cyclobots, over the 40 episodes, they actually increased in intelligence, unlike, the Batlings or the Putties or any of the other, henchmen. I mean, because there was one episode towards the end where they were just giving it to the Rangers like it wasn't nobody's business. I mean, they were kicking ass.
Well, there was at the very end where it was just Wes versus an army of Cyclobots.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Some of my other favorites are like Dawn of Destiny, Fight Against Fate, Destiny Defeated, Undercover Rangers. I didn't like. I thought that was kind of stupid.
Which one was that? The one where they the hey, come eat this. This will make you stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of lame.
I thought that was a little stupid. Time for Lightspeed is 1,000 times better than Trakina's Revenge. Although I do agree with Spada that, Viper's actress just sucks.
She's terrible. She brought her stupid ass go-kart back too.
Yeah, the Vipari.
All the stuff you can bring back, and you bring back the effing Mario Kart, really?
It was a dune buggy with silver paint and a super soaker on top.
If that. You know what episode I liked?
What?
Love Struck Ranger.
Oh, that's another one I didn't like.
I knew you were going to say that.
I couldn't.
Dude, it was hilarious because...
It took away from this, okay, you start out with this really strong story for however many episodes, and then you get to that episode, for 21 episodes, it's been fairly strong for all of the Rangers. You get to episode 22, Love Struck Rangers, and then they do that.
They were still building character. They just weren't building the Rangers character, because that's when you kind of seen that Rancic, how much he cared for his daughter, because he was like, hey, make sure you don't touch the Blue Ranger because my daughter likes him.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it kind of points out that Rancic's number one goal is his daughter, and then it's destroying the Earth. You know what I mean?
Full Exposure is another one.
Revenge.
Yeah. Full Exposure is another one I didn't care for, because essentially, again, where in Lightspeed, where, Dana got charmed and her entire character changed because she was becoming famous. This one was similar to that, because it was the reporter that really didn't want to do what he was doing, but he did it anyway because he was being threatened to be fired. But I just didn't like that episode. It's this is why I said last time that I didn't mind the Rangers' identities being known, because... Again, you have to protect the secret. That's what and I know, Scotty, you like them having secret identities.
I do.
I don't. I think because it's not something that, morons can use against, little villain of the week morons can use against them. That's why I don't mind them being out in the open. And I just thought that episode was just so stupid. Talking about the finale.
Well, what about Spada? What's Spada's favorite episodes?
Let's see. The first 2 episodes when they were first introduced.
Mm-hmm.
Then probably the last. I want to say the last 10 episodes where Frax just starts going for it.
Yeah.
I always found that when any episode where Frax was heavily involved was a better episode for it.
Yeah. I would say from Frax's Fury, episode 27, all the way to episode 40, The End of Time, part 3, is where it got really good outside of stuff like Reflections of Evil and all that.
Clash for Control was pretty good.
Yeah, that was.
When you finally got to see the Q-Rex and what it was about. And I liked how Eric really only cared about getting that stuff so he could lead the Silver Guardians. You know what I mean? He's like, hey, what if I get the Q-Rex?
Yeah.
And then Mr. Collins is like, oh, that'd be pretty impressive. He's like, okay, here I go.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole, I'm going to stick my hand in this shoebox from the future and see what happens.
Yeah, that was kind of stupid.
It's kind of funny, actually. You know what? It didn't remind me of a shoebox. It reminded me of a vertical ghost trap.
You know what? It made me think of a mailbox.
Nah.
It made me think of when you were in like grade school and it was Halloween and you had to stick your hand in that mystery box and was like, is this an eyeball or what?
Yeah.
It's actually just like a meatball.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, that's exactly what the thing looked like, I remember.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad that I have to, present elementary school to Time Force, but it is what it is.
37 to 40, A Calm Before the Storm, and then The End of Time part 3-parter. A Calm Before the Storm, essentially it's a clip show, but it does show that over the past 36 episodes, they have gone through major character development on all of them. And then The End of Time, I almost wish it was made into an actual, full-length movie versus 21-minute, half hours or whatever. But The End of Time, I thought was very well paced. It didn't go too fast. There weren't any real slow parts in it. I did hate the part where Alex is essentially forcing them into, erasing their memories. I honestly didn't care for Alex in the entire series.
And that's what his character was, though.
I know. Another one I thought that was kind of stupid as far as the characters, the captain. Because you think that this captain guy is the boss, and then when Alex comes back, he's like, oh, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes. It's like he turned into a yes man. I'm like, wait a second. I didn't know Alex was a higher rank than this captain guy. How the hell did that happen since he came back to life?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The end of Time, 1, 2, and 3, is icing on a cake.
Oh yeah.
Because Time Force was amazing, and there's a lot of times that the end of a movie, the end of a series can just ruin everything that it's built up for. And I mean, and there's even some times where something can be god awful, and the ending almost saves it or helps it out a lot. The only thing this was icing on a cake because all 3 of those episodes, were amazing. I'm a grown ass man, and I felt sad when Wes forced the Rangers on, autopilot and was like, "No, you guys are going back."
Well, yeah, but I mean, he was trying to save them. He was trying to be the hero.
Right.
What are your thoughts on End of Time, Spada?
Exactly what Scotty said. It was a perfect ending to a really damn good series.
Yeah.
And just, it really, to me, it showed that Saban was capable of making something that was really a lot of fun. And, it's funny. Ever since Space, I really think Saban and just made a really good show. Yeah, there have been nitpicks, but Time Force was, to me, the culmination of everything Power Rangers should be.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed.
I mean,
Time Force makes everything else look like Turbo. Time Force, yes, it does.
No. Hold on now. Hold on. Because In Space had a really awesome story.
Yep, but not nearly as good as Time Force. Time Force, I thought In Space was wonderful. I loved In Space. After watching Time Force, I don't even remember In Space. Time Force blew my mind, dude. I was like, this is, I mean, I text you or emailed you halfway through the month, and I was like, dude, I'm almost done with this. I could not stop watching this.
Yeah, Scotty emailed me like March 9th or March 10th and said, fucking amazing. Or he said something, he's like,
that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, well, no, I agree. He goes, how far in are you? And at that point, because I had just finished watching Lightspeed, and I needed like other, more adult, less childlike programming, stuff like 24 and Number, stuff that's actually non-Power Rangers. And I'm like, I started watching like the first 2 episodes, but I haven't really gotten that far. He's like, dude, I'm already, at episode 21. I'm like, oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, it was. I just couldn't stop watching. It was just
and I agree. When I got into watching it, I would watch 10 episodes at a time. So yeah. Moving on over to the music and the theme song, I thought the theme song for this one was really good. It's got that general Power Rangers rock beat to it. It tells a little bit of a story, and it just genuinely sounds good. What about you, Scotty? What do you think of the theme song?
Well, like the last 2 podcasts we did, I write my thoughts down when I first hear the song.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I was like, oh, not too bad. Not good, not terrible by any means. But the more I heard it, the more I was tapping my foot or snapping my fingers, and I ended up liking it a ton. Not enough as Zeo or one of those where I'm going to put it on my iPod and run to it at the gym, but it was still very, very good. I did enjoy the song.
What about you, Spada, as far as the theme song goes?
Love it. It's one of my favorite.
And the overall music of the series, and again, I know Scotty's not going to get the reference, but I know Spada will. Linkara said that he kind of missed the old adage songs from MMPR, but this series didn't need, Go Green Ranger Go or something like that. It used the instrumentals to its advantage, and I thought the music in the series overall was so great.
Now, was this whole thing composed by Wasserman?
No,
Wasserman hasn't done it for a while up to this season. He's been gone for like a season or 2.
Let me look at it because I've got the files. Power Rangers music, Time Force. It was done by Glenn Scott Lacey is who did it. And then Jeremy Sweet and Shuki Levy did the main theme songs, but Glenn Scott Lacey did the actual.
I don't. Nothing sticks out in my mind that I hated about the music. So in my opinion, that is very good. That means the music was done so well that it just blended in with the story, with the fights, with everything, and it went so good that I didn't even pick it up as, ooh, that's not a very good song.
Yeah.
So I mean, thinking back, the whole series music was damn good.
Yep. Getting into the legacy of it as far as the toys and all that stuff, and again, we mentioned the Shout Factory announcement of the DVDs and all that stuff. Plus, it's all the series are on Netflix. Scotty, I assume you don't have any of the Time Force toys, do you?
Well, except for the Q-Rex.
Okay.
Actually, I have the Q-Rex, and then I think I have the Red Ranger and maybe like the Blue Ranger. And the Red Ranger I have is the when he got the box.
Oh, the battle. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like when I would buy something off eBay, it just would happen like, and this is seriously random. Someone would be like, "Here's some extra figures," and that's the only reason I have those. I have I also have the Blue Ranger with the 4 on his chest. I think that might be like SPD or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know what is it.
Well,
Yeah,
wait,
I don't even know what that is. Yeah, it's a Blue Ranger. He's got a number on his chest.
If it was a Blue Ranger, it should have a number 2.
Well, whatever it is, he sent me that guy too. So it's like I got a couple random figures, and I was like, I don't even know who the hell these guys are. I mean, I knew what series they were from, but I didn't know what they were at the time.
You will find out.
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
What about
and now
you,
I know
Spada?
one of them's Wes.
What about you, Spada? Do you have any of the Time Force toys?
Yeah, I've got the Time Force Megazord and I've got the Shadow Force Megazord.
Oh.
And at one time I had, I think I had the Quantum Ranger, the little figure. Oh, excuse me, the 5-inch
4-inch figure, yeah.
Yeah, the 5-inch figure. But none of the other stuff has ever been all that interesting to me with the toys, just the Zords. I always did want the Deluxe Vortex Blaster set, but not a big deal. But hey, I'm all about the Megazords.
Awesome. I will say this about the Q-Rex. The best thing about that is it's all remote. It's done by remote control. That is the Quantum Morpher. So
sweet.
You get the Quantum Morpher. It's a tad bit different from it's not show accurate because it's got a little bit more buttons. But you can shoot lasers, missiles, make it transform everything from your wrist. So that's actually an awesome feature. But again, that there's no replay value in making it morph back and forth 150 times.
Yeah, no replay value there. All right, so we are going to take a break. You're going to hear some ads from both GCRN and PCN, and we'll come back to close the show.
Are you a fan of Mattel's Masters of the Universe toy line? How about Princess of Power, New Adventures of He-Man, or 2000X Masters of the Universe? Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and my new show, Power and Honor, the World of Masters of the Universe Toys, takes a look at all of the above-mentioned lines. In every episode, I'll take a look at a different action figure, vehicle, or playset from the world of He-Man. It's a great place where you can reminisce about your favorite toys from the past, or even learn some things that you may not have already known. A new episode airs bi-weekly on He-Man.org and PopCultureNetwork.com. Swing by and check it out. Good journey.
What it is, friends. Sweenholic here, inviting you to join me every Monday for Radical Retro Turtle Toy Talk. What's that, you ask? Radical Retro Turtle Toy Talk is my weekly video series in which we take a look at my favorite toy line of yesteryear, Vintage Playmates Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If you're a green teen goer, I'm betting you'll have a great time getting reacquainted with old friends or meeting new ones for the first time. That's Radical Retro Turtle Toy Talk at www.radicalretro.com, part of the Pop Culture Network.
Do you like retro shows? Did you grow up in either the 80s or the 90s? Then tune into Telecast, GeekCastRadio.com's newest podcast. Join us here on the Telecast as we revisit some of your favorite shows, such as Clarissa Explains It All, Salute Your Shorts, Saved by the Bell, and much, much more, only on GeekCastRadio.com.
You can now hear the Geekcast Radio Network while on the go with Stitcher Smart Radio. Stitcher is a free-use and talk mobile app available for your smartphone. And when you download Stitcher to hear Geekcast Radio, you'll have a chance to win money. Downloading is quick and easy. Just find Stitcher in the App Store. During registration, hit the promo code box and enter Geekcast Radio, all one word, to get automatically entered to win $100. The latest episodes of the shows will be waiting for you in your favorites. You'll get access to lots of other amazing shows too. Always available to you on demand, no syncing. It's Stitcher Smart Radio. Don't forget to enter promo code Geekcast Radio when you register.
Grab your helmets because it's time to assemble Mask. Coming April 10th, 2012, the Geekcast Radio Network launches Masked Mayhem with your hosts Optimus Solo and TFG and Mike. This podcast, covering all 75 episodes of Mask, will feature in-depth analysis of every episode, talk on the toys, and more. Masked Mayhem will run 30 podcast episodes. You can find us in iTunes and on www.geekcastradio.com. Get your spectrums ready, as podcasting is the ultimate weapon.
Back to action!
So we are back on From the Command Center. Scotty, final thoughts on Time Force?
I don't know. I pretty much gave all my thoughts throughout. I just thought it was absolutely amazing. I loved everything about it. Another thing that I didn't like was, and I know it had to be, but Jen went back, or I guess went forward to her time where she came from, but they didn't kiss, at the end. And I'm not usually like that, but it's like, I love you. It's like, I love you too. But now I'm going to go to my time and I'll never see you again. And we should probably just hug.
And again, I'm going to reference and I'll link this to you, Scotty, so you can listen to it. I'm going to reference the No Pink Spandex interview that Erin Cahill just did with No Pink Spandex. She even brought that up and said, we never did kiss. Probably one of the reasons is because Jason is actually married with a kid. When this show, was being produced and aired, he was married at the time. He still is married to the same person today. So that's probably why.
No, that's asinine. Every actor and actress is married.
Yeah. Oh boy. All right, Spada. Any final thoughts on Time Force?
It was just damn good.
Yep. What is your YouTube channel, Spada?
You can find me at youtube.com/boltmatrix.
Yeah, he does a lot of robot reviews.
Just a few.
He does love the robots.
Yes, he does love the robots, and he also loves the KFC Double Downs.
What the?
No. Still recovering from that.
2 years later? All right. Thank you for joining us here on From the Command Center. There's always, you can contact with us or leave feedback for the show. Visit the network websites, geekcastradio.com. You can comment on each of the web posts on geekcastradio.com, and you can join the forums over at popculturenetwork.com. Leave the show's feedback in iTunes. You can follow us on Twitter. Mine is TFG1Mike. Scotty hates Twitter. Spader, what is your Twitter name?
Bolt Matrix.
Yes, that is correct. You can become a fan on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/geekcast network. You can also search out popculturenetwork.com over there. You can find From the Command Center the video series on PCN's YouTube channel, youtube.com/popculturenetwork. You can call the voicemail line, tell us the show you're leaving the message for, and your name, 502-526-5821. We hope you enjoyed this episode of From the Command Center and wish you'll join us next time when we will be continuing the Power Rangers talk with Power Rangers Wild Force. Oh, shoot me now, damn it. For now, I am TFG1Mike with
Scotty Cash
and Spada the Bolt Matrix.
Thank you for listening. Until next time.
Take it easy on that racetrack, Lucas.
Well, at least now I have a driver's license.
Wes, you're the best.
Katie, let go.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I'm actually gonna miss your hugs.
Goodbye, Wes.
trip. I know. I'm gonna miss you too. Can I keep my hat? Yeah.
Bye, Wes.
You take care of Trip, Circuit.
Always have, always will.
I wish you could stay.
Me too. But we both know I can't. I want you to have this, Wes. Don't ever forget me.
Never could.
I should have told you this a long time ago. I love you.
I love you too. I wish I could live another 1,000 years so we could be together again. Take care.
You okay? What now, son?
I don't know.
Well, I got a business proposition for you. Now, wait. Now, just hear me out. I want to make some changes in the Silver Gardens. Listen to me. We will protect the entire city. For free. I need a good leader. What about it?
I'll do it. But I want Eric as my partner. What do you say?
Would have been my choice.
I think the future looks pretty bright.
Let the power protect you.